What's happening, everybody? On today's show, one of Auburn's football defensive leaders, defensive end Colby Wooden, will join the show as we talk with him about adjusting to a new defensive coordinator, what to expect from a veteran Auburn defense this year. And we'll go around the conference as Alabama and Kentucky pick up some commitments. The Peach Bowl already sold out, and one Texas player might have some bulletin board material for the Crimson Tide already. Locked on SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is happening, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. Great to have you guys along. And, of course, today's episode brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. All right, we got plenty to jump into. Let's do it. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Intercepted. Takes the handoff. Throws in front of the ball. What a catch.
Around the conference.
And we start with college football. Look, the 2022 season isn't even here yet, but one of the postseason games already sold out. The Peach Bowl announced on Wednesday that the college football playoff semifinal game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is sold out. This marks the earliest sellout in the bowl game's 54-year history. Of course, the Peach Bowl playoff semifinal game will be played Saturday, December 31st on New Year's Eve. While the Peach Bowl is announcing the game as a sellout, fans of the two participating teams will still be able to purchase tickets through the school. The participating schools will be allocated their contractual ticket allotments once that matchup is set. But the Peach Bowl notes that 23 of their last 26 games have been sellouts. Of course, the last time they hosted the playoff semifinal, 2019, where LSU routed Oklahoma 63-28. But got to wonder if maybe some Bulldog fans or Crimson Tide fans, or maybe even some Aggies, buying some of those tickets up early in hopes that Bama, Georgia, or A&M are there. They are kind of the consensus preseason top 10 teams. We'll talk a little bit about that on tomorrow's show with Phil Steele. You don't want to miss that. Speaking of Alabama, a little bulletin board material, perhaps coming from the Texas Longhorns. They've been dominating in recruiting as of late with Arch Manning going there and then a bunch of fellow recruits joining him in the 2023 class. But one guy who is a former Alabama running back now at Texas, Keelan Robinson, he was on Bama's roster 2019 and 2020. He transferred to Texas in 2021. He is looking forward to that week 2 game in Austin against Alabama, doing a Twitter Spaces session on Tuesday night. Robinson said he thinks Texas has a chance to beat the Tide. He said, look, there's a few people that are trying to count us out, but seeing what I see every day being here, I know we can beat them boys. We just got to do what we got to do. Shout out to AL.com putting that transcript out there. Robinson ran for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns with Alabama in 2019. Last year with the Longhorns, he rushed for 322 yards and 3 scores. So still a little bit of reserve. Bijan Robinson is the feature back there at Texas. We'll see if Keelan Robinson plays a factor in that game, but nothing wrong with a little early bulletin board material in July for a game that a lot of folks have circled. Look, the Tide are very early favorites. We'll see what our friends at BetOnline have the Crimson Tide favored as in that game, but that could be a marquee matchup for Texas. If they want to keep saying Texas is back, and Quinn Ewers perhaps an upgraded quarterback for them, that is one that they need to show out and show they can hang and compete and play with the likes of Heisman winner Bryce Young and the Nick Saban Crimson Tide. Speaking of Bryce Young, he was honored this week. He and Aaliyah Boston, the Alabama quarterback who won the Heisman, and South Carolina star who guided the South Carolina Gamecocks to a national championship. They both received prestigious SEC awards, taking home the Roy Kramer Men's and Women's Athlete of the Year awards. Greg Sankey put out a release from the conference saying Bryce and Aaliyah are the remarkable examples of what it means for a young person to fully participate as a student and as an athlete in the SEC. Both of them were honored with their Sports National Player of the Year award as they each held themselves to the highest standards of competitive excellence. The award was voted on by the league's athletic directors. So shout out to Leah Boston at South Carolina and Bryce Young at Alabama. In some recruiting news, a lot of Alabama notes. The Bama Crimson Tide this week picked up a receiver from the JUCO ranks in four-star JUCO wide receiver Malik Benson. Plays for Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. He announced on Twitter he's committed to the Alabama's 2023 class. He's the number one player in JUCO, the number one JUCO receiver, and the number one JUCO player for the state of Kansas. Alabama now has 11 players in their 2023 recruiting class, ranking in the top 20, according to 24/7 Sports. Over at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin going to be losing an offensive lineman, it looks like. Jordan Rhodes entering the transfer portal. That's from On3 Sports. Rhodes, 6'6", 365 pounds, started his career at South Carolina in 2017. Started 10 games for the Gamecocks in 2019. Initially had opted out of the 2020 COVID season before rejoining the team in September and switching to defense. But he went to Ole Miss as an offensive lineman, was expected to compete for one of those starting spots this year, but it sounds like he is on the way out and hitting the transfer portal. Meanwhile, big ups to Mark Stoops at Kentucky. They have a new highest-rated player in their 2023 recruiting class after a big signing on Wednesday. They went into the state of Alabama to get four-star safety Avery Stewart. He picked Kentucky over the likes of Auburn and Florida State. He's the number 197 overall player in next year's class. Four-star wide receiver, rated the top player in Kentucky's 2023 recruiting class. He's the number 12 safety in next year's class, the number 16 overall recruit from the state of Alabama. Kentucky now has 9 players in their recruiting class. And there you have it. That is the latest news going on around the conference. When we come back, our conversation with Colby Wooden from the Auburn Tigers. Really excited to talk with him. Really good kid, and excited to talk to him about expectations for Auburn this year under Brian Harsin. Thank you guys again for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Of course, this episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when you use Rock Auto. You can save sometimes 30%, 50%, even 100% sometimes for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their price is reliably low for every customer. They got everything you need from brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet. Go check out their easy-to-use website today. Find the solution for your auto parts needs. And when you go to rockauto.com right now, see all the parts available for your car or truck. Make sure you write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so that they know that we sent you. It's an amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com. Run along here, Locked On SEC, and a pleasure now to talk with this guy, a guy who's primed for a big year with the Auburn Tigers. He is big number 25, their defensive end, Colby Wooden, and he joins us now. Colby, what's going on, man?
What's happening? How are you?
Doing good, man. What's the offseason been like for you? I know we're getting so close to SEC Media Days, and that means, fall ball is right around the corner, and you guys will be gearing up for the season. But what's the offseason been like for you? What have you been doing?
Man, we've been getting after it. We've been running stadiums, we've been doing play practice. We've been getting it on, spending time with each other. We just been putting in hard work though. We know we got a lot riding on the season. We got a lot of veterans, a lot of leaders on the team who want to make their mark in this season, who refuse to let us have another losing season as we had last year. So we're just eager to get back out there and, change what we did last year.
I know you're heading into your junior season technically, but, your fourth year there at Auburn, very productive these last few years, 4 sacks in 2020, 5 sacks last year. Now that you've played in the SEC for a couple of years, I mean, is it one of those things where just you feel more comfortable as time goes on?
Yeah, you definitely feel more comfortable going on as time goes on. You're adjusted to the speed. You pretty much know what everybody's going to do just because you played them 2 years before. and you've pretty much been playing this. Some of these guys have been playing since, in high school days. So it's just fun to put together what you learn from each year. Like, for example, my first year when I was playing the COVID year, I learned, okay, I really got to be more physical. Last year, I learned, okay, we got to speed this up, physicality and speeding it up. So this year it's just exciting to see what I learned and what I put together this year.
I know you said last year you wanted to get some more pass rushing out of that 3 technique, use your hands more, get off blocks. Did you feel like all that kind of improved for you last year?
Oh, yeah, it definitely did. It definitely improved last year. I've been spending all offseason working on that. You guys, media guys, have motivated me a little bit. Certain times, just watching certain games last year where we just didn't affect the quarterback. That just didn't sit well with me. So that's been my motivation all off season to go get them.
Hey, for the record, Colby, we've always been fans of you here, so we never say anything negative here. I do want to bring up that Alabama game. I mean, look, it stunk the way it ended. I know, it sucks that you guys had to sit with that, throughout the offseason with the what ifs and coulda, woulda, and all that kind of stuff. That said, I mean, you were very productive. When you look back on it, was that a game that, man, you look back, at least individually, I know you wanted the win, but you look back individually and go, hey, man, I left it all out there.
Yeah, I definitely felt I left it all out there, but I ain't told many people this, but I ain't cried after a football game since my senior year of high school. I got to that locker room while I was crying like a baby, man. That loss hurt. So yeah, but yeah, it hurt, especially because we really should have won that game, could have won, all the woulda, coulda, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it just drives you to, okay, hey, well, we got to get back to the drawing boards. Why didn't we win? What's going to help us win next time? So, just putting it all together.
Hey, Colby, you're not alone there. There were some other Auburn fans, I'm sure, across the country that were crying that night, too. You were not alone there. Let's talk a little. You guys had some coaching changes this offseason. Coach Mason moves on, but a new defensive coordinator, Coach Schmetting. What do you like about your new DC and the time you had with him throughout the spring, and what are expectations for Coach Schmetting running the defense now?
Oh, well, Schmed's a very smart guy. Like I said, he's going to come in, give you all his time, all you got to know. And he knows a lot about ball, which is great for us. So we get to learn. We get to learn not just scheme, but why we're doing something, or why the technique is this, or why we need to do it that way, which is very important, because I'm a guy who's going to ask questions. So with him being a new DC, it's forcing us to be more technical and more fundamental sound. Last year, I'd say we were playing technique ball, but we were more so just getting it going. This year we're slowing down on emphasis and emphasizing the fundamentals, which is always important. And I just feel like this year we'll be able to, be better than we were last year.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what are real expectations for this defense this year? Because you guys were really strong last year. You lose a couple of pieces, but you got some big pieces coming back with guys like you and Owen and Nehemiah Pritchett, Derek Hall, Zion. I mean, in your mind, how good can this defense be? I mean, as good as last year, if not better?
I feel like we're going to be better. Just for the simple fact, we know each other. This group coming up, we've been playing with each other for now 4 years. Me, Derek, Owen, Zion. We done all came in together. We're now the old heads. So it's just, I feel like the chemistry is there, the bond is there. All the things we need are there. I really feel like we're going to be better this year than we were last year, especially with the 8 home games and the crowd of Jordan Hare being able to help us out. I truly feel like we'll be a better, more electric defense.
More with Colby Wooden in just a second, but I want to remind you about our friends over at Built Bar. For the people who invented healthy and tasty, comes the latest gift to your taste buds. You've probably tried the amazing coconut brownie chunk Built Bar, but guess what? Your friends at Built Bar have given coconut brownie chunk the Puffs treatment. That's right. The coconut brownie chunk Built Bar flavor that you already love in a deliciously chewy marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. It's like a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. And go check them out right now. It's only here for a limited time. You go to built.com. Make sure you don't miss out. They're going fast and they taste amazing. Built Bars, of course, made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. The best part about Built Puffs, of course, they taste amazing, but you can enjoy them guilt-free because they're actually good for you. They're the perfect treat, perfect for when you have a craving, you need to satisfy your sweet tooth, or if you need a quick, healthy snack after a workout and you just want an excellent source of protein. Delicious coconut, rich sweet brownie, creamy marshmallow. Stop fantasizing. Get to Built.com right now. Order your box of coconut brownie chunk Built Puffs right now. When you go there, use our promo code LOCK15. That's going to get you 15% off your order. Use the promo code LOCK15 over at Built.com. Built.com. Continue our conversation with Colby Wooden from the Auburn Tigers. And Colby, obviously it was a tough spring. I know you guys sweat a lot. You went through it. From what you saw in the spring, obviously there's a quarterback battle going on. Zach Calzada, he was limited coming over from Texas A&M, still recovering from that shoulder injury. But what did you see in that quarterback battle with guys like TJ Finley, who came over last year, Robbie Ashford coming over from Oregon? What did you see in those guys in this spring?
I saw guys competing, literally. Like, it's literally, I still don't know who's going to be QB1, but right now, I did see them guys going at it. Guys coming in early, leaving late, competing. I mean, you can't ask for better. You can't ask for much more. I'm excited to see who this is, who's going to be QB1.
See, that's a good thing.
And especially with us coming in, especially with us getting some more receivers. I know that was kind of a weak point for us last year. So the fact that we got more receivers, fast guys all over the field, we literally have a track meet. Like we literally have a track team on our team, a receiver. So we're just excited to see who's going to be able to get out there and give us the best shot to win.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody always wants to rush to name a starter. I'm like, take it as long as possible. There's no rush. Let the best man win and, go up to the week before week one if you got to, whatever it takes. But it just means that all those guys are competing and it's not an easy decision. And that's a good thing for the team because it means those guys are battling it out. Speaking of battling, Tank Bigsby, he's been getting a lot of offseason hype and recognition, and rightfully so. It seems like he is poised to have a monster year this year. How tough is it going up against a guy like that in practice?
Well, Tank is going to come down here all the time, so you better have your pad level low. But no, it's great to have all SEC back play against him every down, every day in practice. So it lets us know, not lets us know, but it helps us out so that way when we're facing a Bama or UGA or somebody, one of those big boys, powerhouses, who have a big power back, it helps us that we face them every day. So we're not uncomfortable tackling somebody who's coming at you 220, 230, coming downhill. It's just helpful in getting us prepared and ready so we know what we're facing and know how we got to approach each game.
What do you like most about Coach Harsin? I know it was a tough finish to last year. Some guys hit the transfer portal. You have some assistant coaches leave. But it seems like he's kind of got the train back on track now, and guys are excited to be there and play for him. What do you like most about Coach Harsin?
I like that he's a winner and that he cares. I know that was misconstrued last year, and we went through our growing pains, but I like that he learned. He took the time to learn from what he was doing wrong and what people were saying. So he was listening, which is always great. When you have a coach who can listen to what he's doing wrong and what's the problem and fixing it. That's the key thing. He's fixing it. He took time to get to know his players. Now we're doing more things with him. We were paintballing earlier in the year. But yeah, he's a guy who really knows his X's and O's, and he's a winner. I can tell he losing don't sit right with him, and I love that about him. Like I hate losing. So just to know that we got a coach who's going to be there and is going to do everything he needs to do to win, it just gives me all the confidence in the world. It makes me want to go even harder for the coach.
Just a couple more for you, Colby. Give me a guy or two that we haven't talked about that you think is going to play a big factor this year. It could be, on the field, off the field, whatever, but give me a guy or two that we haven't mentioned that you think is going to be primed for a big year this year to help you guys.
I would say I do want some offense. On defense, I'd say Marcus Harris. He's on the 50. My 1-2 counter punch. He's gonna definitely have a big year. I feel like he's been busting his tail all off season, getting stronger, getting faster. He's just preparing himself mentally and physically for what he has to do. And on offense, I'd say I don't know. On offense, I want to give it to. I'm gonna say Shank, Don Samuel Shanker,
okay,
or Keandre Jones. One of those two. Keandre's big, physical, and strong, and he's been putting in a lot of work off season. He was just in the sand pit today on our off day, so that should tell you everything you need to know right there. But yeah, him and Shank. Shank's just highly competitive. Shank is gonna do what he needs to do to win. And I love going against that guy every day at practice. He actually gives me fit and block when he's trying to block me. But yeah, those two I think are poised for a great season as well as Marcus.
What's it like having a little bro on the team now?
So I'm not gonna lie. I thought it'd be annoying at first. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it would be annoying. I thought he was gonna be hitting me up there. That joker found his way around the school, got his own little friends, called me when, what's up? How you doing? So it's just cool to see him. My mom's she's very excited. We made her cry. We've seen both of us on the field, spring game. So, but yeah, it's awesome having him here. I can call him, get him in check, when I need to. I can reach out and touch him if I need to lay hands on him. But yeah, it's great having him here. Because I don't know anybody besides Derek Brown. I don't know anybody who's been able to say they played with their brother on high school and college level. So that's just great.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And of course, Colby's younger brother, Caleb, is on the Auburn football team now. Last thing for you, Colby, when you are not on the football field, what are you doing in your downtime? Are you a Netflix guy, video game guy? What are you doing?
Sitting on my couch watching HBO Max or Netflix. You're absolutely right. I used to be a video game guy, but I'm so competitive. When somebody will beat me or beating me in Madden, I'm convinced it's cheating. So I gotta turn it off, and I can't play it. But yeah, so now I watch movies, stuff like that.
What's the last thing you watched?
Last thing I watched was last thing I watched last night was Nonstop with Liam Nelson.
Okay, was it good?
An air pilot. Yeah, it was like about a movie. Somebody hijacked the plane or something like that. You got to figure out who.
Yeah, all those Liam Neeson movies are the same. Somebody's kidnapped. He's got to save some hostages. He's got to. It's all the same. Colby, best of luck, man. We're really rooting for you this season. I know you're primed to have a monster season. So go get it. Best of luck to you, man. And thanks so much for taking some time with us. All right.
Yes, sir. You have a great day.
All right, there we go. That's Colby Wooden there of the Auburn Tigers. Appreciate him taking some time out to join us, and really looking forward to seeing what he does on the football field this year, because Auburn, look, for all the changes that they've made, they've got some veteran pieces back, particularly on that defense. We know the defense was not the problem last year. There was just times where the offense had stalled and unable to keep drives alive and all that, but defense was a strength, and Colby Wooden is going to be a big part of that defense once again this year at Auburn. That is going to do it for this edition of Locked On SEC. Again, my thanks to Colby Wooden. We'll be back very soon right here on Locked On SEC. Talk to you guys very soon. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out some of our other great podcasts on the Locked On Podcast Network. Locked On Ole Miss, Locked On Bama, tons of great podcasts. Locked On Auburn, Zach Blackerby doing his thing, talking about Colby Wooden. Go check it out wherever you find your podcast. We talk to you guys very soon.